He died instantly? And you're certain of this, comrade? Even if we were to entertain the possibility that he was still alive after the initial attack, the effect on his time of death would have been negligible. I doubt he would have lived for longer than an additional minute, maybe 2. Which, if true, leads us into the most stickier situations. Everyone, please listen! A thought just occurred to me. What if the crime happened at a completely different time? Just like Hunt asserts. Miyu, are you sure you've been properly tending to your circuits? What is it? I mean, such a notion seems completely outlandish. I'll have you know that my circuits are in perfect working order, thank you very much. So please, just hear me out. Rebuttal Showdown, here we go. It's a friendly neighborhood narrator here, come to give you another tutorial. Rebuttal Showdowns are an iconic mechanic from the later Danganronpa games. In them, the main character faces off against a belligerent participant in a one-on-one battle of wits. Note, however, that due to the way it has been appropriated, the mechanic is now nothing like the one in the games, and instead borrows heavily from the Deus Ex series. What? So put that sword away, you overzealous little so-and-so you. Information about the subject's current state of mind will be projected in the bottom left and bottom right of the screen. Unfortunately, we can't quite demonstrate it here thanks to the text box. Anyway, this information can be used as a guideline for responding to your opponent's assertions. To emerge victorious, you will need to use a mixture of logical and emotional reasoning. These will be shown through a series of 4 options positioned in the 4 cardinal directions. These options... I keep belching. These options represent the way you will mentally slice your opponent's argument. Yep, that's about the extent of the similarities to an actual rebuttal showdown. The blue text represents logic and is presented on the east-west sides of the screen. Likewise, the red text represents emotion and is presented on the north-south sides of the screen. Ensure that you read your opponent carefully so that you can properly respond to their attacks. In short, depending on the subject profile and the flow of your argument, you will need to decide whether to attack your opponent logically or emotionally, as well as from the form of attack that it would take. Yes, that is intense. Finally, you may be wondering why the text is so small. The answer is actually simple. If you really want to be challenged, you can try to deal with them without reading their psyche profile. Good luck. I have a theory. The crime couldn't have happened at a completely different time. Could have happened at a completely different time. More precisely, the time we've been using as a point of reference could have been manipulated by the true killer. All they would have needed to do was change all the clocks in the mansion, and we'd be none the wiser. It's not a bad theory, but something is definitely wrong with it. Let's just open up accepting this. Calm down. I think you need to calm down. I am already calm. Though I suppose I have no way of proving it, do I? I don't think a state of mind is what's the issue here. Crap. Alright, wrong thing. Subject is uncertain about not many things, but then is uncertain about many things, but all their functions. Seems eager to prove their usefulness. Oh, I didn't realize this. Would have been difficult. Yeah, maybe this? While it's true that the killer could have distorted our perception of time, I think that was right. That would have been very difficult to do in the circumstances. They'd need to alter every single clock in the mansion. One unaltered clock would have destroyed their whole plan. I can see that it would have been difficult, but surely such a possibility is more believable than the crime taking place in just 2 minutes, unless you have something that suggests the clocks couldn't have been tampered with around the scene of the crime? Actually, Miyu, I have just the thing. If you consider the conditions of search duty at the time, this piece of evidence proves that it was impossible to manipulate the clocks. Alright, let's see. Make your choice. Leviticus testimony, I think. Leviticus testimony proves it. But couldn't someone have altered the clocks after she checked? I don't think you could view her testimony as conclusive. What? Damn it, she's right. What is it then? This? Allow me to cut, there you go. Allow me to cut through those words. Oh god, this is pretty hard. That was some impressive logic there, Miyu. Especially for a robot. But unfortunately, it wasn't quite decisive. I see. My logical reasoning drive is prepared to receive your rebuttal. Levitica? You know how we were discussing the locations of the clocks earlier when we were investigating? Can you repeat them for everyone, please? I hope that didn't come across as too bossy. It would be my pleasure. On behalf of the Whispers, I convey to you the following. The game room, lounge, servants' quarters, dining hall, library, and reception were each graced with the presence of a clock. Now, an important fact to note is this. Excluding the library, at least 2 of these rooms were being searched from 11 to 11:30, and again from 11:30 to 12. We all know what this means. Since 2 or more rooms were being searched, even if one of the searchers was the killer, it would still be impossible to change the clock in the other person's room. Ah, I see. Alright. Still think Leviticus' testimony was probably the most glaring one, assuming that neither person left their room at any time. I didn't neglect my duties, of course. I had no reason to leave. And neither did I. Right, and as long as these claims hold, it would have been impossible to throw off our perception of time by changing the clocks. I see. Perhaps I was a bit hasty in raising the possibility of a time manipulation mechanic. No, you were completely in the right there. After all, these trials only work if they are based on a full consideration of every possibility. It's also perfectly valid to say that a manipulation mechanic would have been more likely than a murder committed in a mere 2 minutes. But now that Miyu's theory has been invalidated, such a conclusion now seems inescapable. So where does this get us exactly? Up shit creek without a paddle? I mean, very good, sir. Oh, to the contrary. It narrows down our suspect pool quite considerably. Oh? Who might you be talking about, I wonder? Zeke, I hate to be the breaker of bad news, but she's talking about the mansion people. Specifically, you and Hunt. Ah, but why us 2 in particular? With only 2 minutes to work with before the alarm was raised, it pretty much has to be one of the people in the mansion at the time of the crime. And if you discount the people on the first floor as well as Magnus himself, you don't really think I killed Comrade Magnus, do you? Besides, Zeke is clearly the more suspicious of us 2. He even admitted to killing Magnus in his testimony. Sheesh, hun, I was being sarcastic. Just kid. You're not helping things, Zeke. We're sorry, Hunt. But since this is a trial, we have to follow the facts. I keep pressing right-click. It's only reasonable that hard evidence can't be dispelled by belief alone. I do think I know what's how we're actually gonna get Hunt out of this mess, though. We're gonna, while we're suspecting him, we're gonna bring up the possibility that he couldn't have used the door because it was locked from the inside, and he couldn't have gotten through it, so he might have used the vents. But I think the thing I've got to refute, because the only other place to enter the library from is from the vent, but the thing I've got to refute is the fact that it said that Pierce just about only was able to fit through the vents, and that they were kept clean and stuff. So if Pierce just about fit through, Hunt won't be able to fit through because Hunt is much bigger than Pierce, and he wouldn't, Hunt is obviously the Bara, big muscly character of this game, so, which we always have in these Danganronpa games. But, yeah, he wouldn't have fit, so I don't think he could have done it, anyway. But I don't think Zeke is the killer either, it just doesn't feel right. So if you want us to trust in what you say, then prove it. To say I feel uneasy about this would be a gross understatement. Something just seems wrong. Very wrong. And is it just me? Or has Natalia been silent this whole time? Everyone, you have to understand! I would never hurt a fellow comrade! It goes against the spirit of revolution! Yeah, what Hunt said. I'm not the killer! Oh, here we go. Mass panic debate. Oh no, it's chaos in the courtroom. Whatever are we to do? How are we to respond to this mass panic debate? Well, fear not, dear reader. A mass panic debate is basically a non-stop debate. You'll just be listening to more than one testimony at the same time. Fun, right? The exact same rules apply. However, the testimonies will blend. You'll see what I mean soon. On the plus side, mass panic debates are subject to a lower rate of influence drain. You know, since most of the attendees are a bit preoccupied. Well, have fun. Okay, same thing. I can do this. Truth bullets, floor plans, library door, and Monokuma file. I'm not the culprit. I'm not the culprit! Magnus is one of my comrades. I had no reason to kill Magnus, and besides that, I could never hurt him. Here we go. I didn't even have access to the correct crime. I stayed in the game room the entire time. I was too busy fulfilling my duties. Are you going to suggest I teleported or something? I didn't have the time to kill Magnus, because that has a long wait-up time. Alright, let's see. Oh, no, I know what it is. It's getting out of hand. Just sees a point of interest faster the whole trial moves around. Didn't have access to the crime scene, but, like, I think it's going to be the floor plans. Because I got to review what Hunt's in. Floor plans because of the vent. Yeah, I was right. I'm not the culprit. Alright, I'm not the culprit. Magnus was one of my comrades. Let's see. I could never hurt him. Hunt's got a big nose. I didn't even have that direct access to the crime scene. That's it, right? Is that it? Yes, it's right, good. The floor plans. I hear it! It's not going to be him, though, because he won't be able to fit through the vent, but we're just saying that that's a possibility. Hunt, did you just say you didn't have easy access? Yes, we're doing the class trial, this song. I don't even know what one this is. I think it's Dawn Edition, but I'm not sure. Hunt, did you say you didn't even have access to the crime scene? Yes, because it's true! I would have needed to pass through several rooms to go to the library. That's where you're wrong. Look, you can see it right here on the floor plan. Even though it's small, there's a vent that connects the servants' quarters directly to the library. A vent? Preposterous! I did not know of such a vent when I was searching the servants' quarters. How could I use something I didn't even know existed? That's effectively an admission you weren't diligent in your search. How disappointing, Hunt. How is the fact that I arrived at the scene with everybody else? We never would have got the door open otherwise. The culprit who discovers their own crime. Hardly an uncommon mystery trope, I'm afraid. What a load of poppycock! The true culprit has dug their ice pick right inside your skulls. Mona, is there anything else about the floor plans that we should be aware of? Well, I suppose I didn't really say on the first draft. I'm actually going to have a look at the floor plan. Where was Zeke? He was in the game room. He's quite a distance away. Oh, no, wait, no, he's not. He's not, because Zeke could have left, unless someone was watching Zeke, which I don't think anyone was, he could have left the game room, gone into the study, and then gone through the vent that, like, from the library to the study. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't think it was Zeke either, though. I'm not sure. I don't know who it is. I suppose it didn't really say on the first draft. But the orientation is like so. The north side is the actual north side, and so on. Even an idiot should have figured it out, but you never know. Other than this, nothing else comes to mind. Thank you, dear lamb. Now on to the matter at hand. While it's true that the assumption remains the height of folly, I shan't ignore the facts any longer. Hunt, either you were ignorant and averted your eyes from the vent while searching the servants' quarters, or you did know and you used it to access the crime scene. If you really are the culprit, Hunt, then I suggest you don't turn your eyes away from salvation. Confess right now. Let the waters of redemption cleanse you of your sins. Your silence is making this really difficult for the flock. Oh, benevolent whispers, what is your counsel? Hold it right there! What's this? A split opinion? Oh, scrum debate. Looks like I'll have to take this chance to relocate you to opposite sides of the court. Woohoo! How anticlimactic. Yes, a travesty, isn't it? These trial grounds used to be more phenomenal, but it was too much of a safety hazard to have the podiums levitating midair. So because I care about your safety, you'll have to do this the old-fashioned way. Like hell you care about our safety. Enough chatter. Let's get this started, shall we? It's time. In an unbiased as tone as possible, I'd like to say, this is a personal favourite trial mechanic of mine. A scrum debate happens when a notable majority of candidates are split on the key topic of a debate, resulting in an impasse. Such an impasse can only be solved with a good old-fashioned, penalty-free debate. For reference, the lack of penalties is because of how ambiguous these segments tend to be. So you can expect a bit of trial and error to be involved. In a scrum debate, the trial participants will be split into two based on their views. Not all candidates will participate though. The ones that do not make an appearance simply don't have a strong enough opinion and are thus abstaining. To ensure your side wins the debate, you need to listen carefully to the arguments of the other side. For each argument strand, you will need to correctly identify the key element of their argument from what they say by clicking on it. It's somewhat reminiscent of Her Story if you've ever played that game. For this debate, the key element will only ever be one word per opposing speaker. The debate will proceed if you choose correctly with the word highlighted in orange to acknowledge your selection. However, due to the technicalities involved in implementing this, you won't generally have to select the word itself. Usually the entire line will count, with one exception. Also, it will always be possible to deduce the answer through a combination of logic, trial and error. I'll even talk to you through an example. Come on now, don't be shy. Ahem! But his fingerprint was found all over the knife, weren't they? What do you think is the key point of interest word in that statement? If you said fingerprints, then you are correct. In a Scrum debate, that's the word you click on, or the line containing it anyway. If you thought the answer was knife and wondered why that wasn't correct, then congratulations, you just got direct experience to why this is a penalty-free segment. Yep, DRV3 Scrum debates were like that too. You can see the logic behind it. The knife, while a point of interest, did not represent the thrust of the opposing side's case. The fingerprints on the knife, however, now there's a different story. Additionally, you will automatically be prompted to recite your argument strand if you take too long. This is the case for every speaker except the first. You can tell this is happening because the screen will fade to black. So if you want to challenge yourself, try and click the key word or line before the speaker is able to say their entire argument. You would have to restart the entire segment if that happens in the game, but we decided to be merciful. Now enough of my blabbering. We've got a debate to win. A Scrum debate. I sound like I'm having an aneurysm. There we go. Oh, jeez. Yeah, can I trust your abilities, Hunt? I find it hard to believe you'd be so careless as to not notice the Ven. I don't know if she has something to say to that, but about what? Careless. Careless? I was right, good. We are all imperfect beings. There is not a single soul out there who is not at least occasionally careless. I see. I get it. But Hunt is incredibly strong, isn't he? Someone with his build to easily inflict severe blunt force trauma. It would have been child's play for him to carry the shot put to the scene and even need to kill Magnus with it. Child's play? Alright. I think it's child's play. Let's see. Child's play. Like, it would have been easy for him. What? Alright. Strong, isn't he? Alright. Come on. Oh, I can already tell I'm gonna hate this. Easily? I don't know. Blunt force trauma, then. Whatever. Someone with his build, maybe. Oh, shut up. Grace, if you seriously, like... carry the shot put. Oh, there you go. While I don't doubt that Hunt is a well-endowed individual, the shot put was already at the scene because Kilmore put it there. There was no need to carry it over. Oh, I see. Alright. God, I already don't like this much. Right. But that's Kilmore's lie, isn't it? It's gonna be lie, then. What? But that's Kaede's lie, isn't it? Monokuma, then. But that's Monokuma's lie, isn't it? Lie? Oh, I click lie. What? From my perspective as a fellow robot, I don't think Monokuma would be able to lie about something like that. I sincerely doubt it's within the parameters of his programming. Yet, from what I can see, only Hunt had easy access to the crime scene. Not particular access, because you had it too, Zeke. You could have gone there too. There you go. I'm getting that. You're forgetting something? You haven't even been cleared yourself. You could also access the crime scene at your leisure. And then finally, nevertheless, Hunt remains the most likely culprit. In the absence of anything, exonerate him. Exonerate? There you go. You know what? We'll take you up on that. What if I tell you that the evidence that would exonerate him was in our possession the whole time? The vent size. Right? That's it. This is our answer! Okay, I don't know if I enjoyed that. It got pretty easy, but I got stuck at that one bit. Well, you said you had decisive evidence proving Hunt can't be the killer. Now be a good sport and show us. I'm about that. May or may not have been a bluff. What? Come on! Oh no. I know that type of face. I'm just, catching my breath, that's all. He says while sweating bullets. I was hoping no one would notice. Think, please, think. There's be something in the evidence which proves that Hunt isn't the killer. Something we may have overlooked this whole time. To check whether the conditions of the scene will be enabled Hunt to escape. Make a choice. What's it called? Where are the vents? State of the vents. Here we go. Take that! I knew my suspicions were correct. If we were looking for it, we would have known all along. And yet you still have a distinct look of sudden realization. Again, I was hoping no one would notice. Everyone, I'd like to draw your attention to the vents themselves. The vents themselves. And pray tell what is so Ah, I see. It seems we may have been a bit hasty in our accusations. Of course you were! I second that, actually. Since the door was locked from the inside, it can be deduced the killer must have escaped through the vents. You see, when Elisa and Pierce conducted their ventilation experiment, we found out one key piece of information. It had to do with the size of the vents. Namely, someone with Pierce's build could just barely fit through. Meaning Hunt would have been too big to get through the vent. So it would have been impossible for him to commit the crime. I just knew it. I knew someone so kind-hearted couldn't possibly be the killer. You flatter me with your words, comrade. True. It's pretty rare to meet people who know how to build properly. Looks like you got me, Hunt. Is that a confession? Ha! I knew it! No, Zeke is going Kokichi on us. He's lying. But hold on a second, everyone. Hunt might not have been able to use the vents, but the vents weren't the only way out of the room. What? You mean to say I could still be the culprit? Ordinarily, yes, but definitely not in this case. That's why I know you're innocent for sure. I really shouldn't play with my feelings like that. There was something unique about the means of escape, you see. After all, it coincided with the search designation of this person. Designation? Who? Zeke? Where is he? Yes. Zeke here. Oh, it had to go all the way around. Zeke? It is Zeke, yeah. You're the only one, Zeke! But hold on, let me look at the floor plan. You could have easily gone to the library, exactly, right. Well? You know, I thought it was weird that you conceded to Hunt so quickly. After all, it still would have been possible for him to commit the crime, had he used a secret passage. And unfortunately in your case, that was the sort of caveat that you simply didn't want to bring up. After all, the secret passage opened up into the games room. And remind me, who had search duty there at the time? Oh, I forgot about the secret passage. I guess someone did have their eye on Zeke, though. But, like, the thing is, my line of thinking for this was the floor plan. Zeke was here in the game room, right? So unless, maybe I got something wrong here, but, like, unless someone else was in the study. But if someone else was in the study, then I doubt it. But, like, and they were all keeping eye on each other as well. But the thing is, Zeke was in the game room, and he claimed to be there the whole time, but there's nothing stopping him from leaving the game room, going like just across the hallway to the study, and entering that then into the library. So, and then killing Magnus there. That's my line of thinking, but clearly I was right, but for the wrong reasons. I don't think Zeke is the killer, though. I'm gonna keep saying that. Zeke? Please say this isn't true! You can't be the killer, could you? This fiesta has gone on long enough. Me, the killer? Please, I was too busy getting cozy in front of a fire to go off making plays around the map. Mona can back me up, right? You promised not to talk about it. Aha, what's this? I had to use the bathroom during my designation. That's when I bumped into Zeke. He was sitting in front of the fireplace when I walked in. So he wasn't lying about the fire. Seriously, what idiot designed that mansion? There wasn't even a single bathroom on the first floor. So she did leave her post. That explains her reaction from earlier. Maybe she's the killer? When did this happen? No, I doubt it. I don't think they kill Mona off so quickly. And when did this happen? I actually see Mona maybe being one of the survivors. I don't know. And when did this happen? I'd say around 11:40. That was when I left the infirmary to go to the bathroom. I spent no longer than about 5 minutes in the bathroom. Zeke made a point of talking to me the whole time. We discussed some trivial matters before I went back on my way. Okay, so they were talking while she was in the bathroom, right? So Zeke has an alibi. If it was that trivial, doesn't this mean I can tell everyone? You're just begging to get shot, aren't you? Mona, my dear, that seems like pretty crucial testimony. Why on earth would you withhold it? Why wouldn't she? Like it's like Pecco in Game 2 Case 1. She didn't want to admit that she'd been in the bathroom the whole time. Not like it's a proper alibi. Magnus was killed at 11:59, was he not? So we can't vouch for what Zeke did during the actual time of the murder. Fair enough, but you never know. Oh right, of course, because she left before the murder happened. Sometimes even the most meaningless of details can be case-breaking. That's how any good mystery is written. So in the end, we learned absolutely shit all from this. Right back to where we started. Coffee withdrawals kicking in again, Dash? That might be part of it. Honestly, I am getting a bit annoyed too. Whisper's counts of caution. This humble flock has been brought to the precipice of purgatory itself. And you're saying this on behalf of which god exactly? If I were to presume, I'd say one hailing from an Abrahamic faith. One that endowed all humans with the capacity to reason and use logic. Allow me to convey their benevolence as thus. The walls of the secret passage are paper thin. Moreover, the floorboards creak with the most ghastly of noises when you even as so much as tiptoe over them. Oh right, Levitica went and investigated. Yes, you told me about those details after you got out of the secret passage. But in my haste, I neglected to consider one important fact. Or rather, I willfully failed to account for it because it didn't seem important at the time. I am, of course, talking about the paving of the secret passage. Pathing? The paving? Can you show us on the plans? But of course. As you can see, the passage is built into the thick walls of the mansion. It follows the outside wall around like so. Still can't tell if you're trying to help me or not. Oh, I see. It's this line with the X. So, if Zeke was in the game room and he used the passage through here, he would have gone all the way around here to the library. But the library exits over this way, and he's nowhere near Magnus. So, I don't know. Still can't tell if you're trying to help me or not. And here we come to the crux of the issue. Whether or not you are helped by what I say is not a matter for me to judge. However, someone else here can, and they alone can shed light on whether you're innocent or not. Who's Levitica talking about? I don't know. Good choice. Who? What? I don't know. I don't know. What? I'm going to save here in case I get it wrong. I'm going to reset it if I do, but... Who was in the study? Was it... Natalia? Nah, of course not. What am I talking about? Alright. Only because I don't want to get this wrong. Mona? No, not Mona either. I don't know what she's talking about. Pierce? No, not Pierce either. Eden, maybe? Where's Eden? No, not Eden either. Grace? Hunt? No. I'm probably just gonna go for everyone. Me? Florence? I don't know. Who are they talking about? Am I accepting Zeke himself? No, of course I'm not. What am I doing? I don't know who. You, Levitica? No. Sorry to hear this on repeat over and over again, but I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Miyu? Miyu, there you go. It can only be you. Me? Yes, you. Huh? But why do you wish to cross-examine the robot, dear sir? I'm gonna save now, Jesus. Cross-examine a robot? I mean, animals I can understand, but robots? So you did know that Miyu was a robot all along. Miyu is a robot? Who else did you think Sigmund was talking about? I hope y'all don't plan to pick on her again. No, of course not. This is absolutely essential. What I don't understand though, didn't Miyu say, is it because it was on the outside of the mansion and Miyu could have seen him? I don't know. Are you okay with it, Miyu? You just to confirm what you saw or heard at the time of the crime. You know, since you were on the north side of the mansion. Yeah, she was there, but like, was she seen him? Affirmative. Engaging memory recall module. Cross-examination. Here comes a special variant of the non-stop debate. In this mode, the flow of the discussion will center around only one person. The purpose of the cross-examination will determine how you respond to it. If you're grilling someone, you will need to respond to points of interest. For all intents and purposes, every statement in the testimony would then be a point of interest. However, if you're hearing the testimony to try and draw out more information or clarify something, things end up being a lot easier. You will simply be asked to deduce what you can learn from the testimony. Other than this, it's similar to a normal non-stop debate in that you have to compare the evidence with what's being said. It's hardly a debate when it's so one-sided, isn't it? Farewell. What am I doing? Is it basically just the same thing? Miyu's observations. Oh, it's working the same as Ace Attorney again. After the meeting at the cafeteria, I headed straight to the mansion. I have been growing increasingly fond of trees lately, so I wanted to ascertain the quality of the flora in the vicinity of the mansion. I was pleasantly surprised to find that the trees were amazingly well kept. I found the perfect tree mere meters away from the north side of the mansion. I then placed myself underneath it and proceeded to recalibrate my emotional discernment simulator. I heard nothing suspicious the entire time. I don't think I saw anything suspicious either. Moreover, I didn't move the entire time I was there. When the body discovery announcement went off, that's when I rushed to the library. Well, was my testimony helpful in any way? Shows nobody could have used the seed. I see! Yeah, okay, it shows that... Because Miyu would have heard it, I think, but I'm not sure why. I see! Great work, Miyu! Thanks to your testimony, we now know that no one could have possibly used the secret passage. Scanning? On what basis do you make that assertion? Think of it like this. The secret passageway loops around like so. Moreover, you were situated somewhere along the north wall very close to the mansion. Add to the fact that the walls were paper thin and the floorboards were incredibly noisy. I see it now! Since Miyu was located somewhere along the north wall, if anyone had used the secret passage, she would have heard it! Aren't you giving her a bit too much of a free pass here? Brute? And aren't you being a little ungrateful? Her testimony helps you, you know. Right, because it would have been impossible for anyone but you, Zeke, to escape using the secret passage. It empties out into your room, after all, and you claim you never left. Which means you're clean if what Madame Robot asserts is true, and nobody used the secret passage at all. That's not what I mean. Miyu was at the mansion too, was she not? What happened to testing all possibilities? Or is that only okay when they're possibilities you can all agree with? Zeke? What's gotten into you? Surely this is the part where you say you're just kidding, right? You think that just because no one notices you that you can have it easy? We're all in this together. That means no flying under the radar as long as I draw breath, or my tag's not the Hero 27. I see that you are doubtful of my innocence. On these facts, my logic drive is pushing me to conclude this is simply selfishness at play. That, with me being the only other suspect, it's either me or you. The innate drive towards self-preservation, I feel as if I know it well. And an earlier version of myself might have accepted that conclusion without questioning it. But self-preservation isn't your true goal, is it? Very well. I shall testify again, and after hearing it, I hope you'll be completely assured of my innocence. Diverting all energy to logical reasoning drive. Oh, here we go. Why I'm not the killer. Alright, Grace's testimony. Let me have a look at this stuff. Grace's testimony. Miyu insisted on tidying up the books. Alright. The floor plans. I already know what the floor plans are. I've already seen them. And the shot put ball. Metal shot line we use. Yeah, relatively light. Allow me to explain why I can't be the killer. I'll deliver this as a list to make it easy to understand possible. Firstly, it would have been impossible for me to use the murder weapon. Secondly, I didn't know about the existence of the secret passage until after the crime, so I can't have used it. Thirdly, the events would have been difficult for me to use. Fourthly, I was outside the mansion the whole time, so I'm innocent. And that concludes my main testimony. Please, Elizabeth Hayes, I don't know how long I will be able to keep this up. Seems like I need to change tack and find something to either support or contradict her on. Hurry though, it's obvious that this is taking a huge toll on her. Really. Hold on, let me have a look at Grace's testimony again. I see. Ah, damn. Secondly, I did not know about the existence of the secret passage and after the crimes I can't have used it. Damn it. Let me actually save here, because I'm probably going to lose. Jesus. These are the secret passage and after the crimes I can't have used it. Crap, I don't know what I'm doing! Oh, there you go. What proves that Miyu couldn't have used the murder weapon? The shotgun ball itself? Alright. Why couldn't Miyu have used Grace's testimony? Oh, there you go. I agree with that statement! What? Why? How? What? Hold on. After seeing the state of the library, Miyu insisted on tidying up the books. She did this by carrying the books back two at a time, one in each of her hands. I don't know what that means. How does that agree with her? I don't understand. Okay, Miyu, don't worry, I figured it out. Let me save. Jesus Christ, this is hard. This game is hard. Reverting. That was reckless of me. I never diverted all my energy towards a single function before. It looks like I wasn't made for something like that. So, I don't think I'll ever be doing that again. Well, what did you find out? We haven't got all day. Looks like some of you is rubbing off on him, Dash. Good. Back to the matter at hand. Thankfully, you said it early, so I was able to hear it loud and clear. Miyu can't have used the murder weapon. Isn't that right, Grace? Whatever do you mean? Awfully strange, isn't it? Why would Miyu need to carry the books back so slowly? I mean, one in each hand, there's really no logic to it. Or perhaps there was an even simpler explanation. What if I told you that Miyu doesn't have the grip strength and to carry multiple books in each hand? Is this true, Comrade Robo-Girl? If so... we need to work on getting you into a proper exercise routine. I don't think it's something that can just be exercised away. But the further the matter is, even though Miyu was near the mansion at the time of the crime, it would have been impossible for her to swing or even carry the shot put. Can I confirm that to be the case, Miyu? What? I don't understand! So that is how you humans would phrase it. Perhaps it is self-preservation technique built in so that I do not feel consciousness of my own shortcomings. Indeed, it appears that I lack grip strength in my hands. They're very delicate. I had to reattach them when I even tried to weigh the shots during the investigation. At the time, I was relieved that Grace didn't see me. But in hindsight, if Grace had seen it happen, we would have saved a lot of time and energy just now. Oh, Miyu. There really wasn't any need to feel so embarrassed. Even an ultimate isn't perfect in every way. Yes, I think I'm beginning to see that now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would permit me to summarize, based on what we know about the case, only the people in the direct vicinity of the mansion are suspicious. This is because a mere 2 minutes passed between the time of death and the discovery of the body. However, the people on the first floor all have airtight alibis. Even though Mona briefly left to go to the bathroom, Sigmund and Pierce were still able to keep an eye on each other. Furthermore, due to Hunt's size and Miyu's lower carry strength, neither of them could be the killer. That means... I know where this is going, and I'd like you to hold it right there. Yes, it's still technically possible for Zeke to have committed the murder, but why would he do it when he had the only suspicious room? The secret passage connected directly to it, you know? Moreover, what reason would he have not to use the secret passage? If you're going to be suspected anyway, then you might as well reap the benefits, right? really don't want to say this, but that logic is flawed. Zeke might not have known about the secret passage. And even if he did know, the floorboards were creaky. Knowing this, I doubt he would have risked using it. He also could have been employing reverse psychology. He might have avoided the secret passage knowing we'd think it was likely he'd use it. Furthermore, his actions with Miyu were also rather suspicious. Trying to throw her under the bus like that, it wasn't even subtle. I don't think that's what he was trying to do. So we've got ourselves caught in a mess. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. Brute. Whoever the killer is, they're doing a really good job. It just went from proving that only someone at the mansion could have done it, to pretty much proving that no one at the mansion could have done it. In other words, we're right back to square one. Shit's fucked. Everyone's suspicions are resting firmly on him. So why isn't he protesting? If we vote now, we'll definitely get it wrong. So why is nobody saying anything? If everyone is remaining silent despite the stakes, then was I wrong the whole time? Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo! I was worried for a second. Here I was dreaming about electric sheep. Electric sheep, I tell ya! So imagine my mild annoyance when I woke up to the sound of rousing chatter. But boy, was this worth it! Oh, that's a new one. I haven't seen that expression from Blaze yet. I take it you're all ready to cast your votes? Objection! Your Honor, the defense counsel needs more time to, not going to cut it now. You watch as a voting box has popped up in front of what? Ladies and gentlemen, it appears we have reached the end. The most disappointing resolution. Fitting, I suppose. I guess I'll take it. Speak for yourself! You could at least make my death newsworthy, Monokuma. This is embarrassing. Could you hold my hand, Miyu? Grace? This is... No. I've made up my mind. Can't let it end like this. Logic dive.